Hi Rover peeps, we are back in the car and I'm doing a bit more investigation with the alternator. Specifically, when I start the car, the battery light remains on, which, as I understand it, is it's not necessarily charging. I think the light comes on, it's part of a circuit, the ignition circuit, light comes on and it hasn't actually started the alternator doing its alternatory things. I'm going to demonstrate this. In order for me to start it though, I'm going to have to just put the camera down and start the engine, but I'll show you what I mean. Alright, there we go, bit of a rough idle, give it a squeeze with the accelerator and away we go. Now, in the summer I was doing lots and lots of engine work, fiddling around with FASD and the carbs and things like that. And what have I had to do? I tuned the engine myself, but I had lots of problems in the process, hence having to fix the FASD and things like that. So I'm going to tune the engine again and see what happens. I know my car idles on the low side. And the other thing I learned as well is these tachometers, they are not the most reliable of things. It might say I'm idling at 500, it might be lower than that. I might be idling 800 and it could be 500. So it gives you more of a guide as to where we might be speed-wise. And I'm going to go through the process and I'll take you through the process that I go through. And then you can comment and say, Steve, yes, now these are the things that I would do. And there we go. Right, so let's get the bonnet open. So what sort of things do I need to be able to do this today? I need a multimeter that can do engine speed. I need a mallet, basically to get the elbows back on again. Airflow meter, timing gun, a pack of screwdrivers, oil for the dash pots, the workshop manual, and some gloves so I don't get my hands dirty. Nice easy stuff. Let's get cracking. Right, so if you're interested, what we're going to end up removing is this airbox here, these elbows, this hose, the FASD, and these hoses. That's all we need to take off for this time being, and we can get access to the various bits underneath. We can do some inspections and start making any adjustments as is necessary. Right, by good fortune, when the engine stopped, we have, well, I got top dead center and then 6 degrees before TDC is marked there. So, got the timing gun sorted. We need to remove the vacuum advance. Oh, it doesn't want to come off. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's looking all right. Tighten the gun for me now. Okay, right, so if we get this engine started, and what we're looking for, according to this, is an engine speed of 775. Oh yeah, so I need to hook up the multimeter, don't I? So 6 degrees before top dead center, 775 plus minus 25 revs. Let's go get the multimeter hooked up. Okay, right, multimeter, so this is connected up at the coil. We've got the white, black, that's the coil that gives us a pulse every time every time the distributor wants a pulse. It's earthed. We turn it on, obviously the engine's off. Right, now let's just make sure everything that I've set up is clear of the fan. And we're going to get the engine going. Well, there's engine speed. That's looking alright. That's bang on. TDC. Okay. Turn up a little bit. I think that's alright. Let's give it a few minutes. pieces, but I'm going to remove the vacuum advance. And there, yeah, look, you see it go down, stabilise. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with that. Right, so additionally, if I'm going to have to warm the engine up, one thing I'm going to do is check the functioning of the FASD. I have been inside this because I had to fix it earlier this year. Just to point out, you see these little pins here? These are security nuts. I spent ages trying to find a screwdriver to get in those. In the end, I just punched them out. If you remove that, there's another one inside here, just there. You can punch them out, and then you could, like I have, I've actually cut some heads into them. The unit then comes apart, which it can then be serviced. Mine was clean, it was really gunky inside. I had to, well, as well as clearing it out, the spring that this Allen key is going to actually engage with at the back had rusted. The hoses were the wrong way around, and had, I guess over time, must have that coolant inside frozen the whole thing, so it's actually stuck on, which is part of the reason why the car was, well, as I discovered, the car was basically running on the FASD and not on the carburetors, which is crazy. I've had the car like 4 or 5 years, and then I found that. Now, what we're going to do is, I've got a digital thermometer, so we're going to let the car come up to temperature, and then when we get to 65 degrees C, I'm going to turn the Allen key, and this little blue disc that I've made, that's going to go over the aperture, and that should fall off at about 65 degrees. Now, I haven't actually set this, since doing the work on it, the car was running fine, to be honest, and this was disengaging just about when you want it to. So, but I'm going to tighten up. The winter's coming. I want to make sure that this is, so, yeah, it's going to warm the car up as is necessary. So, let's get over to the FASD. Okay, so now we're over at the FASD. I've got the Allen key in here. That's nicely engaged. Could turn it ever so slightly. Don't want to upset it too much where we are right now. And that's my disc. So let's get the engine going. Here's my digital thermometer. Yes, it's a great tool, this actually, this multimeter. Yeah, and then the idea is I just need to, there we go. Just need to put that on there, and that'll give me a reading. At the moment, 16 degrees. I did have an infrared one, but it wouldn't actually read me much at all. Right, let's go get the engine going. Get the dash starting to creep into some temperature. The line there is about 70 in the middle. The question is how reliable. That's holding on. That's going to keep me up here. I don't think this probe is, I don't think it's the right measurement. Instrument changed. That's disengaged now. Probably at the right point, you might say. I mean, the engine is fine. I mean, this might be a bit of a fail, but That is definitely disengaged. Because I mean, if you block the port, the engine ends up faltering because it stops getting fuel air mixture. So turn clockwise. I'm going to turn it anti-clockwise. Indeed, actually, when I do this before, you can see how the mechanism inside is actually reduced. It's gone down. Alright, I think that test is probably a bit of a fail, but I think it's probably set there or thereabouts. What I really need to do is get a thermometer strip and put it over that bit of metal. That device isn't really going to do the job. An infrared gun wouldn't do the job either. At least the one I bought didn't. Anyway, let's crack on with the carb tuning parts. Right, this is interesting. So the engine warmed up. The idle speed is lower than it should be. What I'm going to do is this. So I'm going to disconnect the throttle connection, rev the engine, 1500, further 5 minutes. Idle adjustment screws to hold the fast idle speed. Give it some beans for 30 seconds. And then, what we're doing, we need to balance the, we're on 800 revs per minute, so speed needs to come up. Use the air balance meter to balance the two sides of the carbs. And that, I think, is about as far as I then need to take it. I'm not going to have to fiddle around with the mixture or anything like that. I'm pretty happy with that. Right, okay, let's get cracking with that. Okay, so let's take this up to 1500 revs. And then we want 30 seconds at 2,500. So we've got to get that to 800 balance. Turn on that side. Turn on that side. Okay, so carbs are balanced. I'm just going to bring the engine speed down and record that. Engine speed is adjusted by that little screw there. Of course, I realised I made a schoolboy error just, didn't I? Because I was using the accelerator to drive the engine speed, and of course, with the linkage disconnected, I'm only going to be powering that one. That's why I'm now starting to get erratic readings. So what I need to do, I need to hold the throttle linkages open to the speed, hold that, and then try. It's been a lot of fiddling. That is about where we want it to be, 800, that's pretty much spot on. We've got 8 that side. See if we get heat for the camera. been going forwards and backwards. It's like a three-way thing. You've got to get the revs, the engine speed constant. I'm starting to tick up a little bit now. And then get the airflow the same on each side. Whilst adjusting these little screws. Turn this one down a smidge. Down a little bit. That's gone down. Alright, so turn this one up a little bit. It does seem that it's not instant when you're making these adjustments. You make a fairly big adjustments. The engine speed, so that's going over it. 7. Right, so in theory, if I bring it down just a bit, I might just, it's coming down to 800. I think I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna be happy with that, I think. These carbs would appear to be somewhat balanced. See what I mean about the tacho though? So even though the digital one is saying I'm about 800 RPMs, this reads about 500 or just under. Of course, the big test is if I put it into reverse, the engine does not die. Drive doesn't die there either, so that's good. So last thing to do then is to nip up the security, the sort of retaining little nuts on those screws so they can't unwind themselves, and then pop the linkage across. Right, this is nicely nipped up now. Back in the summer, I put it was really hard to get these to actually grip onto the carb body itself. So I actually put these little O-rings on there. You can see that actually they've kind of done their job. This is quite hard to, the collar's quite hard to move. I noticed when I was working on it in the summertime that there was just like this sort of sticky residue. So I reckon there must be some sort of, well, I used O-rings, there must be some sort of rubber it provides the friction against this. But done that, this is on. This is all adjustable. I don't need to go messing around with any of this. This would seem to be fine last time. Accelerator. Well, yeah, you can change your pedal feel a little bit and various things like that. But this is all good. I mean, like, I suppose if you think about it, this carb is going to get instruction first, isn't it? Because it's connected to the throttle linkage itself. As for the gearbox, kick down cable. There's no vacuum on the Borg-Warner box, curiously. So this must, I don't know, maybe this is the only way that the gearbox gets some instruction as to what to do. I don't know how gearboxes work really. Anyway, so done that. So I think I can put the car back together again now. But it didn't really solve the problem of why the alternator is charging the battery and providing me with electrics, and yet I've got the light on. I haven't cleaned everything up last week. Curious, eh? Alright, so just to round up, engine's all back together again. Engine bay is clean of tools. And that's that. So, alright, so tuning was pretty much okay really, so it's not really going to be down to tuning. I don't know, I just don't believe that the alternator, it's under that bracket, I just don't believe that alternator's had it. It's only been on the car 2 years, it should last about 100,000 miles. And the battery's charging, so it's doing its job. Maybe it's just an electrical thing. But why would it start when... Oh, I don't know. Why would it start? Like, fine, the battery goes out as soon as you just give it a few beans. That's why I thought that maybe the starting barrels were just a little bit on the low side. It could just be tension on the cable. I mean, there is just there's a fair bit there on the belt. Well, we'll find out. See you next time. Might get back to the door card.